The outstanding author and leadership expert Brene Brown once said, authenticity is a collection of choices. It's about the choice to show up and be real. Man, that is good. That hits me because it's true. It's true in leadership, but it's true in life. And it's true for every single one of us who are trying to make a positive impact on the world. Every day, we get to decide, do we show up small or do we show up real? Do we hide pieces of ourselves or do we bring our whole, complete selves forward? That choice to be real, is exactly what today's episode is all about. Welcome back to the Leadership Edge, and I'm Joe Glaser. Today's message is one I believe every human being and not every leader needs to hear. Because if you've ever felt like you had to shrink who you were to fit into the workplace, if you've ever held back your personality, your ideas, your beliefs, your passions, or your potential because you didn't know if you'd be accepted, then this episode is for you. Today, we're talking about the power of authenticity and what happens when you finally decide to bring your full, complete self into every part of your life. Let's get real here. There are a lot of us out there who walk into work on a daily basis who already carry a ton of weight on our back. Whether it's what's going on in the personal life or the weight of holding back at work, the weight of trying to fit in at work, the weight of saying the right thing at work, the weight of hiding parts of ourselves because we think it's safer that way. And the truth is, hiding your identity, even just a little bit, is completely emotionally and mentally exhausting. Because people don't become their best selves when they're edited. People rise when they're seen. People thrive when they're safe. And people shine when they're allowed to be real. A team doesn't reach its full potential by being told to blend in. It reaches its full potential when people feel free to stand out. That's when you can create diversity in thought. I want to share something that I've forgotten. There was a long period, a period in my career when I did not feel like I was the smartest person in the room. I still don't, but I really felt like a dumbass. I'd walk into meetings, I'd instantly feel smaller. People were using all this corporate jargon and intellectual speak. That's not me. I think to myself, I don't belong here. What I say won't matter. Someone else probably has a better answer than I do. And that mindset and that internal narrative was louder than my actual voice. So I stayed quiet. I sat back. And you know what? I did not contribute. I let imposter syndrome steal opportunities right out from underneath me. No one told me to be quiet. I did it on my own. And I know someone watching this knows exactly how that feels. You have something valuable to say, but you continuously second guess it. You have strength, but you compare it to someone else. You have perspective, but you convince yourself it's not worth sharing. Imposter syndrome is not a feeling, friends. It is a thief, a dirty thief. It steals confidence, it steals purpose, and it steals moments that could have changed everything. And I let it control me until one day I had a leader that changed that. That leader didn't see me as the quiet one or the guy who was still learning. That leader saw me as someone with value that asked me for my ideas, that respected my instincts and expected me to have courage and speak. And because they created that space for me, I finally learned something. I didn't need to be the smartest person in the room. Thank God. I just needed the courage to be myself. That realization unlocks something extremely powerful within me. And it's the same realization I want to help others unlock. Somewhere along the line in today's professional society and workplaces, we have been convinced that our identities need to be watered down, that our passions need to stay at home, that our faith, our creativity, our beliefs, our quirks, our stories, they don't belong in a professional environment. But the truth is, authenticity is not a problem. Your authenticity is your power. Your authenticity is what sets you apart. Your authenticity is what unlocks your potential. The world doesn't need any more carbon copy professionals. The world needs people to show up with heart, to show up with purpose, people to show up with who they actually are. When someone feels safe enough to bring their real selves into the workplace, you see it instantly. Their shoulders loosen, their energy rises, their ideas get bolder and louder, their passion ignites. And when that happens, their impact grows. People don't do their best work when they're muted. People do their best work when they're empowered. Every person listening to this little episode has something inside of them that drives them. Whether it's family, whether it's faith, desire to help others, whether it's a creative spirit or personal values, or whether it's a personal story, or maybe it's just the hunger to prove to themselves they can rise. When leaders take time to understand that purpose, not just job titles or skill sets, but actual purpose, everything changes. A job stops being a list of tasks. A shift stops being a grind. A responsibility stops being a burden. And work becomes more meaningful. And meaningful work is powerful. When you help someone connect who they are to what they do, you don't have to push them. You don't have to micromanage them. You don't have to convince them to care. They care because they're connected. Purpose fuels passion. And passion, my friends, that is jet fuel for performance. The best leaders I've seen never forced people to fit into a mold. They did the exact opposite. They created space. They created space to speak. They created space to contribute. They created space to show up honestly. Most importantly, they created space to be human. A leader's job is not to shape people into who you want them to be. A leader's job is to help people become the best version of who they already are. When someone knows that, knows they don't have to hide, they stop just surviving and they start thriving. If you're watching this, I want you to hear something. Something I wish somebody would have told me much younger when I was much younger in my life. Your authentic self is not too much. Your authentic self is not a liability. Your authentic self is not unprofessional. Your authentic self is the greatest asset that you have. So bring your story, bring your beliefs, bring your personalities, bring your heart, bring your ideas, and bring your passions. But most importantly, bring your you. Because the world doesn't change when people shrink to the narrative, to the mold. It changes when people step forward. You stepping forward into your authentic self could be the spark someone else needs to step into theirs. Your courage will unlock courage in others. It's viral. Your voice will pull out voices that have been quiet for way too long. Your authenticity will give people permission to finally be real. And that, my friends, is how culture changes. That's how workplaces transform. And that's how movement starts. It starts with just one person to show up fully. It starts with you. Thank you for letting me be my authentic self. Thank you for being here. Thank you for choosing to grow. Thank you for choosing authenticity over fear and having courage. This is the leadership edge. Titles and paychecks, they don't matter here. This is about courage, candor, and heart. Keep showing up, keep growing, and keep bringing the real you into every room you enter. Because the world needs your voice. The world needs your story. And the world is better when you are fully you. We'll see you next time. Appreciate you very much. This is Joe, and I am out.